Hey Liam, Robert Hany was able to get a full practice in yesterday. What would it mean for him to be able to play on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, having Hany out there is not always just the physical. It's obviously the mentality, the toughness, the physicality, the leadership, the standard and command that he continues to push. Having him out there, would be really important for us this week. I thought Jonah played really well last week. Have a lot of confidence in Jonah. He's continued to get better week in and week out. So, but having Hany would be really important for us.
What's the biggest thing that you took from Sean in terms of building team culture, sort of personality, dealing with players as a head coach?
I think sometimes that collision communication at times and not always insert yourself, but making sure that you're communicating with everybody as much as you can in the building, not just the players, the coaches. So much of that, you live in that world so often that you're with those guys, is making sure that you're being intentional about your relationships or just communication with everybody in the building, the video staff, the equipment staff, the training staff. That was something that I thought he knew everybody's names. He understood what it meant when you told people they did a good job or you appreciate them being in the building, and what that did for people every single day. And not just, as I mentioned, the players and coaches, everybody in the building feeling excited to come to work every day. And that was the whole thing with the players. It was the vibe in the building, even when we had a tough stretch, was always pretty confident. Was never like you felt like you were going to live in hard moments for long. You just knew you had to figure out a way to get through tough moments. And I thought Sean did a great job handling adversity.
You talked to, I think, before about him kind of being the example of just being who you are and being genuine. Was that something that you really wanted to continue?
Absolutely. That was feeling that from, I remember like the first team meeting being in was just different than anything I'd ever been a part of in terms of the way he communicated, the way he interacted, but also his ability to stand in front of a group of dudes, take ownership when maybe things didn't go our way, or making sure the players knew, like, I can do a better job as a coach putting you in a position to be successful. Yes, you need to execute better, or we got to make that play, but I have a responsibility as the coach for ultimately the whole thing. And so much of his accountability, whether it's in the media, whether it's with the players, whether it's with the coaches, anytime we would go through adverse situations, typically he would point to himself first. And I always respected that a ton. And the juice in the building, you felt it for a long time that I was there. You felt it every day you came to work. So he was pretty consistent that way.
And he's actually 4-6 against former assistants in his career. What have you told the team about what they can expect from this, particularly this Rams defense?
Yeah, we've tried all week. Look, these guys all watch the tape, right? They're in meetings, in their individual meetings watching tape. They're in unit meetings watching tape. They're in special team. Like all this, there's a lot of film being shown of their good players or things that we can attack and exploit. We've really just tried to focus so much more on ourselves as opposed to, all right, Jared Verse or these guys. I mean, we know what they can do in so many ways. And look, You've got to come ready to buckle your chin strap against this team. That's ultimately what it's coming down to for us about this football game, right? There's our level of detail, our level of fundamentals, technique, discipline. We're going to need it because this is a team that typically doesn't hurt themselves very often. One of the least penalized teams in the National Football League. We've got to do a good job of winning the field position and the turnovers. We've got to get better in that. If we can win that and use some of the field position to our advantage based on what the elements are going to look like on Sunday, that's what it's going to be about for us.
To that point, Coach, you talked about adversity being an opportunity in the wake of last week's defeat, and led to believe this week you've watched tape of yourselves, not just the opponents. What's the message you're trying to get to the players?
Yeah, look, when we play, the best that we play is when we're playing with our hair on fire, with energy, confidence, excitement, getting guys going, flying around, right? We got to get back to flying around, whether it's in all three phases, offense, defense, special teams, flying to the football, not staying blocked on defense, offensively, better combinations and coming off the rock, throwing our hands in pass pro. Like, there are so many things that we can improve upon as a team to focus on that will serve us well going into this football game. So there was, look, our style of play, we talk about fast, right? Fundamentally sound attacking, situational masters tough. This week is a great opportunity for us to really display how fundamentally sound can we be, and really for us, that the last part is the mentally tough. The handling adversity, responding to a loss, and being mentally tough in our preparation and in our play on Sunday.
Coach, Robert, what kind of confidence does he bring to the offense, and having worked in your scheme and at full practice? I assume he's good to go.
Yeah.
With full,
yeah, Robert, last year in Tampa, before we had drafted anybody, he was our starting center. He was our center competing all the way through training camp. So I had so much interaction with him, and Baker are like this. So much of our collaboration on working through an offense was run through Hany. Even when he wasn't the starting center for us throughout the entire year, you're bouncing protection ideas off of him, run schemes, ways of targeting runs, and how he sees defensive structures. We had a lot of that collaboration and communication last year, and that was what made it pretty easy to say, hey, let's bring him on in pro free agency. And since then, just his leadership, the room, the accountability that he has every single day, that's really what he helps bring. And then when he's playing and feeling good, he's playing at a high level.
Because of how well you know Sean and the Rams offense and just all of that sort of going on, how important is it for you maybe not to overthink things, knowing like he knows that I know that he knows that.
That's right. No, that's a great point, honestly. It's not ever about, me and him. That's not what it's about. But when you can get into some of that, like, there's a play out at practice yesterday, and I'm like, they're not going to run it like that, and I'm like, wait, shut up. Just doesn't matter. We all run plays, and so you can kind of get into that, like, well, they're not going to do that out of this, or maybe, they could do this out of that, and you start maybe overdoing some of the information, overcooking it. That's a great point. Honestly, that's something that has gone through my mind over the last probably 24 hours is like, man, they know so many things about our system. We know, obviously, a little bit about their system. Man, just let these guys go play. It's truly going to be about the execution, the energy, the focus, being able to just go play and execute at a high level, and let these guys just go let it rip.
Coach, it's still very early in your head coaching tenure, but what's the most valuable lesson you've taken from these opening 6 weeks, would you say?
Man, that's a good question. Really good one. I think trusting your staff, trusting the people around you. We've got a really good coaching staff that I believe in, that have done a really nice job so far. We're learning more and more about each other every week, about us as coaches working together, and working with the players, and what works, what doesn't, how people respond, how we're coaching and teaching details every week. And you're constantly trying to evaluate that as a head coach, right? What's working, what's not, how's the communication between each other and the players. And I think they've done a really nice job of getting our guys prepared every week and bringing energy at practice every day. I think they've done a nice job with that. So just trusting the people around you and knowing that when you make decisions to hire people, be firm on those.
Well, you guys arrived on Tuesday. The Rams will only get in tonight. What do you think is the better way to do it for an international game?
Yeah, we talked about this the other day. Like, we went through this all in the spring and decided, okay, let's get the information, let's get the data. Got with Chris Bach and Ferg and Eric Ciano on our strength staff and sports science, and we got all the data, right, that supports both ideas, right, to either come early or to come later on. And it's always been Sean's philosophy, whether it's going from the East Coast to the West Coast, or just travel in general. They've kind of gotten to the point where it's spend the least amount of time as possible in that time zone, so that when you do come back, it's not as effective on you. So I don't know if it's going to truly matter. I don't know. I think this was an easy decision for me because of the Jaguars have done it so many times here and done it at a high level, been successful. Great opportunity for us as a team to, you know, come together and spend some time together as family. So I don't know if it'll be an edge or not.
Coach, it's obviously still early in the season, but Travis seems like he's having kind of a bounce back year from last year. Why do you think that is?
You know, I think he had the skill set this whole time, right? You've seen the skill set, and sometimes maybe based on the things you're doing and emphasizing in the run game or pass game, it might not work to everybody's, or somebody has a down year. It happens. Like sometimes other guys ascend and end up doing some good things. I think he came in with the right mindset and mentality right from the beginning, man. Like there was some days early on that, hey man, you got to get your butt in this facility and come meet with us, and he did. And credit him, he spent a lot of time with our coaches, with Chad Morton, all throughout this whole offseason. They talked as much as humanly possible, and I think they've got a really good relationship. TJ has really been on the screws with the details of our offense, the why, and then you're seeing it show up in his play. And so I think he's excited to get back, get some more carries, get some things going, keep going in the pass game, and get those guys going in the running back room.
One or two quick more.
I have another one,
Yeah.
actually. So the league seems to be pretty even this year. Why do you think that is?
Just in terms of records? Yeah. Man, there's a lot of good coaches. There's a lot of good players in this league. Like you talk about, I remember in 2020 when I was with the Rams, we were a darn good team. We ended up winning the division that year. And we played at home and lost to the 0-13 Jets that year at home. It's like any Sunday, any given Sunday in this league, anything can happen. Anybody can win, right? You have all these just fantastic athletes and football players. Got a lot of really good football coaches in this league. And so I think it's sometimes you say, you know, when your creatures get a little bit better sleep than my creatures, sometimes good things happen. So it's the way it works. It's this league. I think it shows how good this league is and how competitive this league is. You look at last night, what Zach Taylor was able to do with the Bengals, had a text with him this morning. I mean, that was a pretty cool win for those guys. And so, you know, Zach Robinson, another good friend of mine in Atlanta, 2 weeks ago, they're all calling for his job, and now he's, you know, lighting everybody up. So it's just this league, man.
Coach, when you were thinking about taking the job or took the job, at what point in time did you start thinking about this is going to involve travel every year, you know, this London trip most likely, and sometimes maybe back-to-back games in London like the team has done?
Yeah, especially with, you know, obviously the stadium build and no, I knew that fairly early in the process. That was something that Shad had communicated was a part of the plans and something that he felt strongly about in terms of the presence here and the ability to play here, and how I don't want to say seamless, because I'm saying these guys make it look easy with the operation. So you know, I thought that was really cool. Like I said the other day, my wife's favorite city is London, and I mean, aside from Jacksonville right now, she loves London. She loves this whole country. She took some time here. I think after college, she spent some time here, or maybe during college. So, I mean, I think it's a cool opportunity, right? Like, as a human being, take away the coach part of it, the operation, the process, just as a human being to be able to travel and see different parts of the world. I think that's really cool to have that opportunity as a person, and having these guys be able to have the same opportunity.
Coach, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys.